If you're having trouble getting a smooth vocal performance and you feel like you're riding the compressor too hard, then check this video out because I'm going to show you how to deal with problematic vocals that are very dynamic and getting them to sit in the mix nicely without crushing them with too much compression because of how big the difference is between the loud and the soft sections of the singing are. So I'm going to show you how to get a vocal to sit in the mix without making it sound over compressed. So the trick here is to actually ride the vocal with a little bit of volume automation before it goes into your compressor. So on my channel strip here for this vocal that I'm working on, I just have an EQ first, just with a high pass filter, and that's it, just getting rid of any low end rumble. Then I have my gain plugin. So you just find this under utility, gain, and you load that up. Now, what we're doing here is automating this. Now, we're not automating the fader because that's not gonna do anything if you put a compressor on the channel. You need something to ride the volume before it hits the compressor. So we are automating some volume here with our gain plugin. So if you watch what's happening here and have a listen.
You had to hit rock bottom to see what was there. Discover what you're made of. Tell them man they should be scared. I wouldn't know to wait. I wouldn't wanna wait. I couldn't go on living this bad.
Now let's hear it without that gain automation before the compressor.
You had to hit rock bottom to see what was there. Discover what you're made of. Tell them man they should be scared. I wouldn't know to wait. I wouldn't wanna wait. I couldn't go on living.
So you can hear the vocal really spikes and then drops down, and it's not sitting in front of the mix where we want it to be, but you can see the compressor was still working hard on the big notes and it was dropping back, and it was just making it difficult to rein this in. And I did try putting another compressor straight after this, and it still wasn't kind of sounding the way I wanted it to. The compressors were just not playing very nice together because of the big dynamics we're dealing with here. So you can just see that I've listened and I've sat here and I've automated the vocal in these quiet sections up until it sounded nice. Now I had this going at the same time as it was being fed into the compressor, and so I could hear exactly what was happening with the compression and with this volume automation to get it sounding nice and smooth and natural. Now, the next little tip I want to show you is back over here in another section. So we've got this big peak on our vocal here and then it drops down. So because I'm running the vocal into a LA2A style compressor, an optical compressor, this is the Audioscape Opto, it has a slow attack. So sometimes the initial hit of the vocal has a bit of a peak to it, a transient peak that can be a little bit annoying, and especially if it's a loud vocal, it just hits it and grabs it and then it clamps down. So let me show you what this looks like. We'll turn the volume automation off and I'm going to track this in so that you can see exactly what happens to this audio when it hits the compressor.
I just want to go be free. I know
So you can see it's actually made a really big peak that wasn't there before, which is kind of annoying. You could put a limiter in there and sort of clamp down on it and deal with it a bit that way, but essentially you're still just doing more compression than you really should need to. So that is one of the frustrating things with optical compressors and dynamic vocals. Sometimes you get these annoying peaks at the front of them. So to deal with this, what we're going to do is do some more volume riding before we hit the compressor. So you can have a look up here and you can see I've done almost a 10 dB drop just with a really quick ramp up into the vocal. So essentially we're just turning the vocal down on that initial peak to stop it getting this transient peak from the compressor. Now have a little listen and have a look. I'll track this in with this little 10 dB drop here and have a listen to how much smoother this sounds.
I just want to go be free. I know I owe it to me.
So how good's that? Now we've got a nice, fairly level and smooth sounding vocal without these jagged peaks at the front. And you could just do this before a plugin. It doesn't matter if it's hardware or a plugin, you're still gonna get annoying peaks like this. So you could definitely do a little bit of a ride like that on a vocal if you're getting that happening. If you're really pressed for time, you could just slap a limiter on there and it does the trick most of the time as well. But this is a nicer way without using more compression than you need to. So let's compare those again. You can hear that the I sound very aggressive, and then with our volume automation before the compressor.
just want
way nicer, way smoother. So that's just a couple little tips for you for getting the best performance out of a vocal into one compressor, making it nice and smooth by doing a little bit of gain automation before the compressor. And now I could still go ahead and add another compressor, which I might do a little bit of 1176 compression after this now, and just to really smooth out the vocal even more, but I won't have to ride it very hard. I can just do a couple of dB there and it's gonna sound great. Make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment below, let me know what you think. And if you guys wanna show some support to the channel, make sure you check the description link below where you can check out my online store where you can grab some drum sample packs. There's some really great sounds in there to get your drums sounding awesome. If you're keen to hear some of my drum samples in action, make sure you stick around for the next video where I'll take you through my Trigger 2 sample pack.